everyone. We are back out in the shop. Want to finish up this little drip reel. Let's give you some indication of why I am making the effort. She's a bit rusted up. Now here's the part that I did on the last installment. And the view from the inside. Get the air conditioning on and get the tools in place, and we'll see what we can make. First steps, I'm laying out a line that I'm going to grind the rusty portion off. I'm leaving about 1/8 to 3/16 of an inch at the bottom. That's the edge that I'm welding to. I decided to just use the grinder. It was so thoroughly rusted that there really wasn't that much metal to remove. Here I grabbed a little thin cutoff wheel, and I'm using it to grind the primer off the inside of the little lip that I left. And a little finish grinding with the 50 grit just to get the last little residue of primer off. Here I'm squaring up the bottom of my sheet metal. I cut several pieces off of this edge. Get it trimmed. This tool does a pretty nice job of cutting a straight line. And it goes quick. In hindsight, I probably should have repositioned the sheet metal. It's kind of floppy hanging over the edge there, and a lot more difficult to draw a straight line than I would have intended. The rear panel has a pretty good arc in it, so I'm going to bow the piece of metal that we're welding in. And I think, as I mentioned in the other video, I'm still surprised how quickly the shrinker moves the metal. The yellow one stretches it, the blue one shrinks it, and I overstretched it really quick. But it's not that big a deal to put it back. And just that quick, got it fitting in there really close. Couple of touch-ups and mark the length. It's ready to clamp up. Or at least I thought it was ready to clamp up, but the job supervisor said it wasn't quite good enough. Needed a little more touch-up. Going to tack it in many places. Try to spread the heat out a little bit on this one. The shorter one that I put in, it almost wanted to warp, and I welded it pretty hard, so I'll sneak up on this one. Well, this repair, I think, has made sufficient sparks and grindings to satisfy even Tim, so I'm going to speed up a lot of the process. Here I'm welding about an inch maybe, and then I'm taking the air hose and cooling the weld as I go along. There's the seam all welded in. There's a few spots where it's a little bumpy. That's where the spot welds, my tacks were. And I have always sacrificed a little extra grinding time to make sure that I got good penetration, which means more time on the weld, which means more wire. But I'll grind it off here in a little bit, and it should be fine. Backside's nice and smooth, especially with the rubber weather strip. Everything should be nice. This is what I use to grind those weld seams down. It's a 1/4 inch cut off witch style wheel, and get to 3M. It is very aggressive, lasts 3 times longer than the cheap ones, and does probably 5 times better job. Well worth the money. In fact, it's one of the items that when I go get it, I don't even look what it costs because I don't care. By using the 1/4 inch wheel, I can keep it right on the weld itself and not grind the base metal on either side. And by grinding it and changing the direction of the grind from time to time, I can see the grain of the metal that has been ground, and it gives me a kind of a witness mark on how close I'm getting to the edges and things. It's a process I've used, and it works for me. Got that part done. We're back to the roll lock disc. Kind of smoothing the edges out a little bit. Taking the pliers and bending the lip away from the weld so I can grind the weld and not the metal. This metal's only 19 gauge, I think, so there's not a lot there. It's easy to grind too much. Got the piece all welded in. Now we're cutting it to length. I've already marked it with the dividers, and trim it down so we can grind it to fit. And there, with a couple hours of work, got me a nice area to put the weather strip in. Nice and clean down on the inside. I'm real pleased with my solution. I've walked around the tub a few times, and I don't see any more glaring spots that I need to throw massive amounts of sparks. It's been raining pretty regular. I'll watch the weather patterns and find a day that hopefully cold front moves through and the humidity drops down so I can sandblast all these welded areas and get them primed all in the same day. Actually don't mind the fact that it's raining right now. I don't feel up to donning that suit and stand behind that blaster. That is a manly man job. But for the condition it came in, I think it's come out very well. So a preview of the next project. Got a little issue down here. Got a replacement panel. It fits fair, but the contour is a little different. So I think I'm gonna do some fitting and mount it on the car to make sure everything's okay. So that's it for today. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next project.